Okay. So it's been a while since I've made a WoW video, and a lot has happened actually since then. We got a new retail expansion, we got a new classic expansion, and we had absolutely loads of interviews. So let's break it down. We'll take it one step at a time. The new retail expansion for WoW is called Dragonflight. We've got a few new things we're going to discuss in this. We got a new race of dragons, basically a playable race called Drakthir. We got some UI upgrades and improvements. We've got some new systems, not quite as bad as it sounds for the moment. We've got the return of an old system, and we've got some quality of life improvements as well. So let's discuss each of those in order. The first one we're going to discuss is the new race called Drakthir. They look kind of scrawny, is my first impression. When I imagined a new playable race of dragon, I wanted something like the Draconoid from Ruby Sanctum. Big, thick dudes walking around with big glaives. That's what I wanted. But we're not getting that. They look kind of silly, but I don't hate them. I just really want them to be thicker. Now, currently, when you play a Drakthir, you're only going to be able to play an Evoker class, and the only Evoker class is going to be by the race of Drakthir. They are synonymous with each other. There is no separating them for the time being. When you use the Evoker class, if you're in combat, you're going to be in the dragon form. And outside of that, you can alternate. I'm assuming like the Worgen, going from humanoid to dragon form as you please. They don't look bad. There's not much I can really say about them. It's a new playable race. That's not bad. It's a new class. It's not bad. We'll see how it goes. The only thing you can do with an Evoker is to be a ranged DPS or a healer. They're the only two that is. They might add more to that. I just don't know at the moment, basically. If you want to go about that, there's loads of deep dives into the Drakthir race, so I encourage you to go look at them if that's what you're into. The next one we're discussing is the customizable UI. Now, this, I think, is long overdue. The basic Blizz UI is horrific. I hate it, and I have always hated it. And as soon as I realized there was something called Elf UI, I went and got that, and I have not done without Elf UI since then. The reason I hate the Blizz UI, and I think it needs an upgrade, is because you literally can't move anything on it. Everything is stuck in place. It is what it is, and that's all you get. There's no customization to it at all. Your map's always in the right corner. Your toolbars are always down the bottom. You can download add-ons, which allow you to move it. But if I'm going to download add-ons that allow me to move it, I may as well download an add-on that makes it look a lot better. So that's what I do. Some people are going to be happy with that, some people are not. Some people like the basic Blizz UI. I didn't, and I think it's long overdue something to basically make it easier to see stuff as you go through. You want something to move your spells to a more prominent place, you should be allowed to do that. 2004 to now, to do this, you're talking what, 18 years? A long time before allowing you to actually move your UI around, especially when UI add-ons have been in the game for a very, very long time. What else happens? We've got add-ons. I watched an interview with Asmongold and Ian Hazakostas, and they addressed the issue of add-ons in the game. The fact that some of the add-ons actually trivialize game mechanics. For prime example is the Among Us section in Lords of Dread in the most recent raid, where basically there's a weak aura, should I say, a weak aura that actually announces who the imposters are in it and auto-solves it for you. I personally don't like that level of add-ons. The phrase that Eon used in there, which was actually quite good, was informational versus computational. Basically, the informational add-ons give you the information, you decide what to do with it. Computational, it actually solves the problem for you. So I don't like that. At the moment, they're not going to do anything to the add-ons, but it was mentioned that this is something they're aware of, and it's not something they're a huge fan of. So I would imagine in the nearish future that they're going to break some of the add-ons that allow this to happen. Because he said himself that they don't design the raids to combat add-ons, but they do design the raids with add-ons in mind. And I don't think it should be that thing. I think you should be able to raid without the use of add-ons. If you choose to, add-ons should just make it a better experience for you if you do, not actually trivialize mechanics the way some of them do. Another system they're adding in, dragon riding. And it is a system. You learn it, you increase it. And I am slightly worried about this one because from what I've seen, it looks like there's going to be prerequisites to allow you to use it as you want. Initially, it's going to be usable in Dragon Isles. I don't think it's going to be usable outside of Dragon Isles, and as a result, you can't use your flying mount in Dragon Isles either. Dragon riding is going to be the only way to fly around the Dragon Isles, probably bar flight path. But it says there that you're going to require prerequisites to unlock the ability to fly where you want. that pretty much to me sounds like Pathfinder. And I was hoping that we wouldn't have another Pathfinder, but it seems that we may do. But we'll have to see how it's implemented. Pathfinder in itself isn't a bad thing. It's just that Pathfinder was incredibly grindy and required a lot of time to actually get. So we'll see how it goes. Not so sure in this one. It could be good if it's implemented properly, but it could also be catastrophically bad if it's not. Eon has said that they're trying to have a idea shift in a lot of ways with the stuff they're doing, and they're trying to make stuff more accessible, which is where we'll get on to this one, which is the alts and quality of life. Now, according to a developer roundtable, which was had on Twitter, they're going to try and make as many things account-wide as possible. They don't want people to have to do stuff beyond a minimum amount. I would still argue that doing a minimum amount of something when you've already done it before shouldn't really be a thing, but we'll see how they come up with it. And what he said was if you unlock stuff on your main, then you shouldn't have to do it on alts unless you want to. He was using dragon riding as an example. So there'll be initial quests to unlock dragon riding, and then your alt should be at the same level as your main, is the way I understood it. Any of the cosmetic upgrades you can get for your dragon mount should be the same as your main, the way I understood it. And I'm saying the way I understood it because it could be open to interpretation. I'm not sure. Now, how widespread this alt-friendly systems will go, I don't know. I would like to see a whole bunch of stuff account-wide, basically. I would like to see any endgame systems account-wide. The only thing I don't think should be account-wide is probably gear. You've got to earn the gear on the character, that's fine. But like mandatory systems like we've got in World of Warcraft Shadowlands at the moment, I don't think should be character-specific. It should be account-wide. There's just no reason for it not to be, bar making you play the game again and again and redo content that you've already done. We've got the return of talent trees, pre-mop talents, so it's actually going to be an actual tree rather than just rows and a choice of 3 of these on each one. The talent trees look very much like Path of Exile talent tree. They look large, and I'm hoping they're not too complicated. My little brain can't cope. Okay, I have way too many other things to worry about. And one thing I did notice was in the Druid one, it looks like Convoke is baseline, which should keep every Druid happy considering how much they love Convoke. We'll just have to see how the talent trees are implemented. Another one that returned, they're revamping the crafting system apparently. Looks like you're going to be able to put something called works orders in. You can put that up and someone can build it for you and you'll pay them to craft that item for you. It looks like it's going to allow the crafter to bind on pickup items for others. So if you want a epic one-handed mace but it's only bind on pickup, then you can make it for someone else, or someone else can make it for you and you pay them through the works order system. That could be good. I think I like that. I do believe it's similar to other games. It can be similar, but how they implement it is going to tell whether it's good or not. Where they could take something from another game and make it a whole lot better like they've done in previous expansions and games. That would be great. But again, only time will tell. It's all very good in theory and the promises that we've had, but we've had them time and time and time again. Temper a little bit. We'll see how it goes. We don't want to be going through the roof, but quietly optimistic is the word I'm looking for here. So we'll see how it goes. I think that pretty much covers everything from the Dragonflight expansion that I've seen. There are some good things. There are some things I'm worried about. But overall, it actually looks to be quite a good expansion. I enjoyed the opening cinematic. I know a lot of people thought it was crap and it reminded them of MoP. I liked the MoP expansion cinematic. Wasn't quite as epic as the Warlords of Draenor one, but it was pretty good. You enjoyed the cinematic without actually knowing too much about what's happening or having any like big bad that you're chasing for. But we'll see. It was enjoyable, and I like the Boulder Boy, whatever his name is. Not sure what his name is. I think it was mentioned in some things, but I'm just calling him Boulder Boy. Not a boulder, he's a rock, or a stone. Boulder Boy. Another thing that was announced was the Wrath of the Lich King Classic. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not too sure if I'm going to play the game. I played it already, and I don't know if it'll hold the same element of wonder. So we'll see how it goes. I might dabble in it, because I did enjoy Wrath of the Lich King, and a lot of people regard it as the best expansion. I personally don't. I still think Mr. Pandaria was the best expansion. But one thing I did notice was they redid the trailer for Wrath of the Lich King. It wasn't a carbon copy of the original expansion. It changed slightly in subtle ways, which was good, because what I think that signifies is that the game is going to be largely the same, but there will be some differences, which I don't think is a bad thing. I think they do need to improve on some parts of Wrath of the Lich King. How they do that, time will tell whether it's actually good and whether people enjoy it. I don't think it's going to have a long lifespan. I don't think it's going to last much more than a year, maybe a year and a half, because things are going to get smashed a whole lot quicker than they were back in the day. You're not going to see, like, I don't know how many weeks it was from the launch of ICC up to the death of the Lich King. I don't think it's going to be that long. Things are going to die very quickly because we've done the game before. The same as it died a lot quicker in WoW Classic, the same as it died a lot quicker in TBC Classic, and it will happen again in Wrath of the Lich King Classic. Things will die quicker. Anyway, that's just a quick roundup of what I've seen over the last couple of weeks, and what I will do is I will leave you with a clip, my favourite clip from all the interviews I've watched, listened to. One question, one answer. I don't think you'll get much better. So remember, I'm just John P, and now you can't see me. Toodles!
I know we don't have a lot of time here, so I do want to do one last question. And so at the end of Legion, so like there's a cinematic, and Sargeras, as you know, stabbed the earth with a sword, and it's been there for quite a while, and I'm not really sure like where are things going with that.
Wait, what sword?
Okay, all right. I get it. I see. That's pretty much exactly what I would expect. Okay, thank you, Ian. I really appreciate you coming on today.